dragon and the elephant. Now, as remarks come amid India's trade dispute with Washington after Donald Trump imposed a 50% tariff on Indian goods, citing Russian crude imports. Now, while Trump dismisses India's economy as dead, it posted a robust 7.8% growth just in April to June. Meanwhile, listen in to the Russian president's full remarks.
Everyone has equal rights in this multipolar world. And from international law point of view, everyone must have equal rights, must be in the similar position. Yes, there are economic giants like India or China, and actually our country is among top 4 biggest economies if we speak about the purchasing power parity. These are the current realities. That's not something that we would like to have. That's what international organizations calculate, but it doesn't mean that anyone should dominate over the politics or over global security. So we do not believe that there should be some domination. Everyone must be equal.
After North Korean leader Kim Jong-un's talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin wrapped up in Beijing, North Korean aides rushed in to wipe his seat. That's correct. Now, footage that surfaced on Telegram shows Kim's staff scrubbing down every surface as the leader had in fact touched. The chair's backrest was polished, its armrest wiped, and even the side table was cleaned, as you see there on your screens right now. In fact, his drinking glass was also taken away on a tray. This report brings you more viral moments from this Xi-Putin meet.
When Beijing promised a grand military parade, no one expected the real fireworks to come from the sidelines. After his meeting with Vladimir Putin, North Korea's Kim Jong-un was trailed by aides performing what looked like a meticulous cleanup. Cameras caught staff wiping his chair, whisking away his glass, and sanitizing the table, reportedly to prevent any trace of his DNA being left behind. Nikkei Asia even noted that Kim's armored train has a private lavatory for the same reason. Not to be outdone, Putin has his own bizarre precaution, the legendary poop suitcase. His bodyguards reportedly carry it around on foreign trips to collect his waste, a practice reportedly in place since the year 2017. Well, then came a rare hot mic moment as Putin and Xi Jinping walked together in Tiananmen Square. Their private conversation was partially picked up on live television. They were heard discussing biotechnology, organ transplants, and even the possibility of humans dramatically extending their lifespans. Xi remarked that people might live to 150 this century, while Putin later confirmed he had raised the topic of longevity research. All this while 50,000 spectators watched China's biggest ever parade. Tanks, drones, nuclear-capable missiles, stealth jets, and a front row of authoritarian A-listers. Belarus's Lukashenko, Iran's Pezeshkian, Myanmar's Min Aung Hlaing, and of course Kim Jong-un, still smiling, maybe because his DNA was safe. So in the theater of power politics, China has showed off its Great Wall of Steel, but it seems it was the sidelines that stole the show. From poop briefcases to dictator dreams of immortality. Parmeshwar Bava with Ridhima Kedia for NDTV World.
Over in Washington, President Donald Trump has asked the U.S. Supreme Court to overturn a lower court decision that found many of his sweeping tariffs were illegal. Now, in a petition filed late Wednesday, the administration asked the justices to quickly intervene to rule that the president has the power to impose such import taxes on foreign nations. A divided U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit last week ruled 7-4 that the tariffs Trump brought in through an Emergency Economic Power Act did not fall within the president's mandate and his purview, and also that the setting levies were a core congressional power. A U.S. judge has ordered the Trump administration to overturn deep funding cuts to Harvard University that froze more than $2 billion over allegations of anti-Semitism and bias at the Ivy League institution. Now, the administration insisted its move was legally justified. But here's how students are reacting. We get to more.
Honestly, that makes me very relieved because I have like big research goals. I know other people here also have like research goals. They want to have their projects funded. They want to have their own startups. And these are really cool ideas that I think need to be supported. And because we obviously have this funding, like these dreams and passions are going to come true that otherwise wouldn't have.
A growing chorus of right-wing American influencers is now targeting India with sharp rhetoric. Viewers from Donald Trump's ally Charlie Kirk claiming Indians are displacing US workers, to Fox host Laura Ingraham mocking Prime Minister Narendra Modi, to demands for 100% tariffs on Indian outsourcing. These influencer-driven attacks are loud and factually flawed. Indian American leaders and analysts have both hit back, calling this rhetoric racist, misleading, and of course a sign of double standards, especially as the Trump administration favors Chinese students while penalizing Indians with record tariff. My colleague Ridhima Kedia brings you the report.
American right-wing influencers have launched an all-out tirade against India, targeting everything from visas to tariffs. Donald Trump's ally Charlie Kirk took to X this week, singling out Indians as supposedly displacing American workers. His words, "America does not need more visas for people from India. Perhaps no form of legal immigration has displaced American workers as those from India. Enough already, we're full." Kirk's attack came in response to Fox News' Laura Ingraham, who claimed any US-India trade deal would require paying India in visas. She went so far as to taunt Prime Minister Narendra Modi, suggesting to try his luck with China's Xi Jinping instead. But critics are pointing out the hypocrisy. These comments came just days after US President Donald Trump bent over backwards to welcome 600,000 Chinese students into American universities, while his administration simultaneously revoked thousands of student visas for Indians and doubled tariffs on Indian goods to a crushing 50%, the highest in the world. By comparison, Chinese imports face only 30% duties. Adding to the pile-on, far-right commentator Jack Posso demanded a 100% tariff on all foreign call centers and remote workers, another thinly veiled jab at India. But Indian American voices are pushing back. Education policy analyst Neerja Deshpande slammed the blatant racism in posts targeting Indians, reminding that no visa category is reserved only for India. Journalist Billy Binion exposed Kirk's rhetoric as entitlement, saying conservatives were attacking Indians not for laziness, but for outperforming Americans. Others emphasize that Indians make up 75% of the H-1B visa holders, driving innovation at Google, Microsoft, and Amazon, while over 200,000 Indian students pump billions into US universities and local economies. And now even lawmakers are warning against Trump's missteps. Indian-American Congressman Ro Khanna accused Trump of undermining 30 years of bipartisan work through crippling 25% tariffs and an additional 25% levy on India's purchase of Russian oil.
We can't allow the ego of Donald Trump to destroy a strategic relationship with India that is key to ensuring that America leads and not China.
Indian origin experts like Dr. Aisha Ray dismiss claims that India is drifting into China and Russia's orbit, calling it exaggerated, while Indu Vishwanathan exposed how American right-wing racists find strange allies among fringe voices in India to peddle anti-India bigotry. At the end of the day, one fact is clear. Behind the rhetoric of America first, these influencers are peddling half-truths and double standards, bashing India even as the US continues to rely heavily on Indian talent, Indian students, and Indian trade. With Rhythm Arcadia, Bureau Report, NDTV World.
Viewers, we take you straight and live to New Delhi, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Singaporean counterpart Lawrence Wong are signing some key MOUs. Here's more.
हमने निर्णय लिया है कि आपसी व्यापार को गति देने के लिए द्विपक्षीय कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव इकोनॉमिक कोऑपरेशन एग्रीमेंट और आसियान के हमारे फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट का समयबद्ध तरीके से रिव्यू किया जाएगा। भारत और सिंगापुर के रिश्तों में हमारे राज्य भी अहम हिस्सेदार होंगे। जनवरी में जब राष्ट्रपति थर्मन भारत यात्रा पर आए थे तो वे ओडिशा भी गए थे। पिछले एक साल में ओडिशा, तेलंगाना, आसाम और आंध्र प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री सिंगापुर जा चुके हैं। गुजरात का गिफ्ट सिटी हमारे स्टॉक मार्केट को जोड़ने का एक और नया सेतु बना है। फ्रेंड, पिछले साल हुए सेमीकंडक्टर इकोसिस्टम पार्टनरशिप समझौते ने रिसर्च और डेवलपमेंट को भी नई दिशा दी है। सेमिकॉन इंडिया कॉन्फ्रेंस में सिंगापुर की कंपनियों उनका बढ़ चढ़ करके हिस्सा लेना ये अपने आप में बहुत बड़ी बात थी। चेन्नई में सिंगापुर का एक नेशनल सेंटर ऑफ एक्सीलेंस फॉर स्किलिंग स्थापित करने में सहयोग देगा। यह सेंटर एडवांस मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के क्षेत्र में स्किल्ड मैन पावर तैयार करेगा। फ्रेंड्स, टेक्नोलॉजी और इनोवेशन हमारी साझेदारी के मजबूत स्तंभ है। हमने तय किया है कि एआई, क्वांटम और अन्य डिजिटल टेक्नोलॉजीज में सहयोग को बढ़ाया जाएगा। आज स्पेस सेक्टर में हुए समझौते से अंतरिक्ष विज्ञान क्षेत्र सहयोग में एक नया अध्याय जुड़ रहा है। हमने निर्णय लिया है कि हमारे युवाओं को उनके टैलेंट को जोड़ने के लिए इस साल के अंत में इंडिया सिंगापुर हैकाथॉन का अगला राउंड किया जाएगा। यूपीआई और पे नाउ हमारे डिजिटल कनेक्टिविटी के सफल उदाहरण है और ये प्रसन्नता का विषय है कि इसमें
That was the Prime Minister underlining the importance of the Indian-Singapore ties, which not only include business ties or people-to-people ties, but also extend further. Now, these key important MOUs, around 10, we are told, are being signed after Prime Minister Narendra Modi held delegation-level talks with its Singaporean counterpart, Lawrence Wong, who is, of course, in Delhi on a 3-day visit at the invitation of the Prime Minister. Now, during the meeting that took place, both sides were discussed the entire gamut of bilateral relations between the two countries and also issues of mutual interest elsewhere. We shift our focus westwards, where the deadly U.S. military attack on a boat accused of carrying drugs in the Caribbean this week is the latest in a series of extraordinary measures, viewers, that President Donald Trump has taken to combat the threat it sees from the Tren de Aragua gang. Now, meanwhile, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has said that despite attacks from the United States, Venezuela remains standing united and, in fact, willing to fight for peace and sovereignty in the country and the larger region. The White House, on the other hand, has offered few details on Tuesday's attack and insists that 11 people aboard were members of the same gang. Here's more.
Hoy el imperialismo lanza una embestida nueva. No es la primera ni la última, solo otra embestida. Y Venezuela está de pie. Y les digo, Venezuela va a seguir de pie, con serenidad, con firmeza, con fe inquebrantable en la victoria y en paz.
A historic Lisbon streetcar derailed, killing 15 people and injuring 18 others, including a child, in what officials are calling the city's first accident in recent history. Now, this is one of Lisbon's most popular tourist attractions, it overturned on a steep downtown hill. We are being told officials have yet to determine the cause of this crash. Meanwhile, Portugal has declared a day of national mourning. AP's Barry Hatton brings you more from Ground Zero.
One of Lisbon's picturesque yellow and white streetcars derailed on Wednesday, killing 15 people and injuring 18 in an accident that stunned the city. These streetcars are picturesque, they're very popular with tourists, and authorities say some of those victims are foreigners, but they're not saying yet where they are from. The streetcar wreckage is lying on the narrow street across the road here. People are still gathered around, Lisbon residents, stunned by what's happened today. The mayor of Lisbon says it's the worst accident in the city's memory. The government has announced a day of official mourning for Thursday. Still, the city is full of tourists. They always look for those picturesque yellow and white trams trundling around the city. This one was especially popular because it links a low part of the city with the top. The streetcar called Gloria was actually a funicular, as they're called, which means it goes up and down the hill. One eyewitness said that the streetcar came barreling down the narrow street, the traffic-free street, and then toppled over as it came round a bend into a building.
We shift our gaze eastwards, where hundreds of victims have been receiving treatment in a Jalalabad regional hospital following a devastating earthquake which killed at least 1,400 people and injured more than 3,000 others in eastern Afghanistan's Kunar province. Now, one survivor, Kari Obayullah, told how he had lost 5 members of his family, including his parents and 2 children, and seen 10 others injured. Another victim, Mahmood Khan, whose legs were broken, said 3 of his children were injured but escaped by the grace of God. We get you more. A quick-moving wildfire has burned homes in a California gold rush town settled around 1850 by Chinese miners who were driven out of a nearby camp. Now, it's one of nearly 24 fires burning across Southern California as we speak. The quick-moving fire near Chinese camp is threatening the few remaining historic structures. The roughly 100 residents in the Sierra Nevada foothills town have been ordered to evacuate. Florida is aiming to become the first U.S. state to cancel all of its vaccine mandates, many of which in fact require children to get jabs against diseases like polio in order to attend public schools as well. Now, the state's top health official, Florida Surgeon General Joseph Ladapo, likened the mandates to slavery. In announcing the plans, Florida officials did not give a timeline for the details on ending the mandate. Several, meanwhile, may only be repealed through a vote by the Republican-led state legislature, while others, in fact, can be scrapped by the state health department itself. Meanwhile, listen into what the Florida State Surgeon General had to say.
Your body is a gift from God. What you put into your body is because of your relationship with your body and your God. I don't have that right. Government does not have that right. They want you to believe they have that right. And unfortunately, they've been successful. Pretty much every state has them. It's wrong. It's immoral. They do not have the right to tell you what you put in your body.
We stay with the U.S., where a growing number of transgender federal employees are in fact speaking out about what they call a hostile work environment under the Trump 2.0 administration. That's right. Mike Seawright, a former director at the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, resigned in June after being ordered to erase references to the LGBTQ+ identities from federal materials. He claims his technical skills were being used to perpetuate discrimination against people like him from his community. Here's more.
I am transgender. and I'm an openly queer person, and it affects me. This has been my experience in the workplace, so it has affected me to the point that I refuse to go on in an environment where a presidential appointee is suggesting that it's okay to discriminate and harass people like me. I won't do it. This administration would like to eradicate transgender and non-binary people from public life. It's not going to happen. We're here.
A long-lost painting looted decades ago in Nazi-occupied Europe has been recovered in Argentina finally. Portrait of a lady by Italian master Giuseppe Santi has been missing for 80 years, or had been missing for 80 years now, before it was spotted last month on an estate agent's website, where in fact a photo showed it hanging in a house that had belonged to the daughter of a Nazi fugitive. Prosecutors say the artwork has now been returned. Well, it's time we slip into a short break. With that, much more on the other side. Don't you go anywhere.
When facts are fragmented, we put the pieces together. Where power collides with truth, we are there.
Behind me is that massive security arrangements that are in place.
Behind fractured boundaries, we clear the fog of war. Fault Lines with Gauri Dwivedi, only on NDTV World.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
Welcome back. You're watching the Thursday edition of the World Report on NDTV. Now we shift our focus to the world of business, viewers, where an unusual alliance emerged in the White House on Wednesday as lawmakers who agree on little else rallied support for a bill that in fact would prohibit members of Congress and their families from owning and trading individual stocks. Now, the group included darlings of the far right, the left, the moderates, and many in between. They gathered to promote a ban that polls well with voters and appears to be finding new momentum after stalling out in previous sessions of the Congress. The Congress, by the way, has discussed proposals for years to keep lawmakers from engaging in trading individual stocks, noting the idea that there's a potential conflict of interest when they are often privy to information and decisions that can dramatically, in fact, move markets. India's Yuki Bhambre and his partner Michael Venus of New Zealand progressed to the men's doubles semi-finals at the US Open 2025 on Thursday. The Indo-Kiwi pair stunned the 11 states Nikola Mektic and Rajiv Ram 6-3, 7-6, 6-3 in a thrilling quarterfinal clash on court 17 at, of course, the Big Apple. Bhambre and Venus will now take on Brits Neil Scoopsey and Joe Salisbury in the semi-finals on Friday. Now, Bhambre, India's top-ranked men's double tennis player at world number 32, will be playing in a Grand Slam semi-final for the first time ever in his career. Corey Feldman, Hilaria Baldwin, Danielle Fishel and Jordan Childs are among the celebrity steppers to compete in the new season of Dancing with the Stars. That's correct. The new cast announced Wednesday on Good Morning America, and the season premiere is set for the 16th of September on ABC and Disney+. The first trailer for the latest film adaptation of Emily Bronte's 19th century classic novel Wuthering Heights was released Wednesday. Director Emerald Fennell, who directed the 2023 thriller Saltburn, helms the film, which released Margot Robbie as Catherine Earnshaw and Jacob Elordi as Heathcliff in the Warner Bros. Pictures Romance. Now, the film, which features original music by Charlie XCX, is set to hit the theatres on the 13th of February next year, just in time for Valentine's Day. It's time to say goodbye to Downton Abbey viewers. The world premiere of the final film was held Wednesday in London. A successful big screen spin-off, the period drama TV series, the grand finale. It just that, the last of the three movies following the lives, loves and household staff of the Crawley family. The red carpet, in fact, goodbye, was also a reunion for the actors, held at the Odeon Luxe in Leicester Square. Cast members like Laura Carmichael said she believes audiences will appreciate the film. Listen in.
Really good. I mean, I can't wait to see the movie with an audience. It's a real celebration, and I think fans of Downton will love it. And even if you don't know the show, I think it's such a fun film. And I think Julian knows how to give audiences what they want.
Well, that's all we have for you on this Thursday edition of The World Report. Take care and have a wonderful day.
Since I retired, I've finally got time for the important stuff, like helping my family manage financially if anything happens to me. Which reminds me.
Welcome to British Seniors, the UK's #1 rated provider of over 50s life insurance.
Hi, I'd like a quick quote, please.
We're proud to offer our seniors lifetime guarantee. With 100% of claims having been paid, we guarantee your premiums will never go up and that you'll speak to one of our specialists in the UK. UK residents aged 50 to 80 are guaranteed to be accepted. Depending on your age, your loved ones can get a cash payout up to £10,000.
And that money could help with my funeral costs, or as a gift for my granddaughter. I'll do it.
Plus, when you sign up, you'll receive a £135 gift card and free 24/7 GP advice and health services.
Be proud to protect your loved ones with British Seniors. To get a free quote today, call our UK team on 0800 977 6843 or visit britishseniors.co.uk.
If Lubasi was your son, you'd do anything to stop his suffering. He's in agony because he has an eye infection called trachoma. It's often spread by flies, like these. If Lubasi was your son,